Heard the term nuclear winter before, but how true is it? And would humanity really have a chance after such a disaster? Or would we be better off dead? A new simulation has revealed that a nuclear strike could theoretically cause an apocalyptic nuclear winter. The study looked at how smoke from the explosion would affect temperatures around the world. The research suggests that even if we were lucky enough to survive the initial blast, the radioactive fallout could still kill us. Lead researcher Dr. Cheryl Rofer said, "We know that nuclear weapons ignite large fires. But until now, we did unknow if the smoke from those fires could theoretically block enough sunlight to have impacts on the climate and human survival. We wanted to understand the worst-case scenario. So what did they find? Well, they found that if a 100-megaton nuclear weapon exploded over a densely populated region such as Tokyo, the thermal radiation or heat from the blast would kill everyone within a 93-mile radius. Now, the actual energy of a nuclear weapon is measured in megatons. 1 megaton is equal to the energy of 1 million tons of TNT explosive. For context, the largest nuke ever detonated was 58 megatons. This was the Soviet Union's Tsar Bomba. It was 2.5 times more powerful than the US's most powerful nuke, which was the 15-megaton Castle Bravo. This nuke was accidentally set off in 1962. It was meant to be 6 megatons, so it went way over. Castle Bravo caused no deaths, but 23 people did receive radiation burns. Back to the simulation. The researchers used a supercomputer to simulate the explosion and its effects. They wanted to find out if it was possible for the smoke to block enough sunlight to cause a global cooling effect. The results showed that the smoke rose 80 kilometers up through the atmosphere and spread across the planet within 3 days. After 10 days, it had spread around the world twice. The smoke particles blocked 95% of incoming sunlight. Temperatures fell by 8 degrees Celsius in the first few days after the blast. At the surface, the temperature reached 400 degrees Celsius. Anything that wasn't completely vaporized was met with intense radiation. Within 24 hours, the entire Tokyo area would be uninhabitable due to the radiation levels. But what about the rest of the world? Well, the good news is that people would likely survive the initial blast if they were far enough away. But the bad news is that they would not be able to do much after that, because all of the food and water would be contaminated by radioactive fallout. Also, every single day, tens of thousands of tons of smoke would continue to poison the air, making it hard to breathe. Even if you managed to survive all of that, the lack of sunlight could affect your mental health. Some people go insane when they don't get enough sunlight. Dr. Robert Gladstone, who was a physicist on the Manhattan Project, once said, "If the sun goes out, we'll have 6 months to get our affairs in order, and then we die." Of course, he was referring to the sun going out, like our sun will eventually. But it's safe to say that he probably had something similar in mind. Thankfully, nukes aren't exactly common these days. There are only 13 countries that have them. But in total, there are roughly 8,900 warheads stockpiled around the world. A lot of these are old and outdated. But still, that's a pretty scary number. If one of them went off, well, hopefully, we'd all be vaporized instantly instead of having to suffer. But according to this simulation, that may not even happen. You might be better off dead. Now, if you want to learn more about what would happen in a nuclear blast, stay tuned for more updates.